Hey guys, it's Gregory here with eGuide Tech Allies, and I am super excited to share with you a tool that I discovered last year called Trello. If you know me, you probably have heard me talk about it before, but I am super excited to share it with you as well. It's what I use for most of my client project management, and I also keep personal lists on there as well. And I think after you see what the program is all about, you may want to give it a try as well. It may help a lot of you organize some of the moving parts to your business or your personal life, or you name it. I'm not getting a kickback or anything from Trello, so I think that's important to mention. I just think it's a really good tool that's available to use, and better than anything, you can basically get full functionality for free. So let's check it out. So basically, what you'll want to do to get started is go to Trello.com, and the screen will look a little bit different than mine. I just created a account on a different email so we can see what it looks like from the get-go, but it's super easy to sign up. Email, username, password, and that pretty much is all you need. You need to confirm your email, but not even right away. And once you log in, the first thing that you're going to get is actually an untitled board, and it's going to give you, it's just going to want you to dive right in and start exploring the program, which is great, and you definitely will be able to figure it out. But hopefully this video will kind of help explain what you're able to do with the program as well. There's also this welcome board, which explains a little bit more in detail what the functionality of Trello is, if you want to take a look through that. And if you Google search or jump onto the Trello website and kind of scroll through, there's some onboarding videos as well. But you can also watch this video. So looking through here, just to back up, this is kind of on a broadest level that Trello goes. This is the boards level. You can organize boards into different categories. You can create new teams. So this is work. I can create personal. You can color code things, so on and so forth. And you can edit the members of each of those teams. Quickest way to go back is to click the Trello icon up the top. And as you can see now, I have personal boards and work boards. So you can categorize as much as you'd like, depending on what you're using Trello for. Within each board, this is what the list level looks like. And there isn't much developed here, but we'll get into that. But as you can see on the welcome board, there is the stuff to try list, and this is a list. So the way that everything is categorized on Trello is by this list, and then on a more granular level is the card itself. So as you can see here, this is built up of a couple different cards, and the nice thing about Trello functionality is that everything is literally drag and drop. You can drag and drop lists, you can drag and drop cards, you can reorder things by dragging and dropping. So it just creates a really easy capability to organize your information, especially if you have a lot of it, or if there's a lot of different moving parts within the project. So let's pull up our untitled board and give it a name. So for the example of today, let's say this is going to be our grocery list. So now I've named the board, and now I want to change the background. So you can either change it into a solid color, or you can choose a license-free image. I'm going to move my screen here a little bit. So let's search for produce and see what comes up. It may also give me like produce. So let's use this image here. It looks like some carrots and radish. It's healthy. And perfect. So we have our to-do, doing, and done. We can rename these lists as well by clicking on the title. And so this can be new grocery list. Oh, my puppy. Shh. Sorry about that. It looks like we have some visitors downstairs. So new grocery list in action, and completed. So new grocery list, let's put this as January. What is today? The 10th. And let's open up this card. So within the card itself, you have the ability to do some detailed description. So let's say For example, like I am, you're doing some New Year dieting, and this is going to be our Whole30 reference. And in this, I want to say that we're eating just, or no sugar, no preservatives, no alcohol, no carbs other than potatoes, no additives. So I have the text, and if I click save, that information is going to fall in the description, but I want to format this a little bit better. So let's go to this formatting help, and this is where cheats for all of the kind of quick codes are going to lie. One of the things, that I think can be a little bit more developed in Trello is kind of this formatting of the description. You do have to do kind of these code elements, but they're pretty straightforward. So if I want to make this a kind of header, I'm just going to put a dashed line underneath of it, and then if I put a colon here and come down here and put a hyphen before each of these items, it's going to create a list for me as well, hopefully. Let's check it out. So if I click save, look at that. So now it's a much better like formatted description. So this will always be able to be referenced back to. It can kind of pop up on your screen as you're working, as you just saw here. So it's not the worst thing in the world. And a lot of the times, like this one description element of your card is going to be kind of done once, and then everything else is going to live in the comments or in attachments or so forth. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Speaking of those comments, if you are sharing this, say this is the shared grocery list between the household, and you wanted to add that member of your household to this list as well, you can click on members and either invite them if they've already been added to the board. You can invite them to the card here. And then when you comment, if you and someone's name, obviously you can't yourself because you'd just be pinging yourself. But if you type that person's name after the @ symbol and click on their icon, they will actually get a notification. So if I wanted to send a message to someone saying, don't forget eggs, I'll be able to put that in the comments of this section here. To add a member to the card, we're going to go back to the menu. Anytime that you need to go to the menu, you can click Show Menu. There's always this back button here. And then if you click on Invite, this is where you can include an email address, or if they've already joined your board or team at one point, you'll be able to add them to this new board here as well. And then you can add them to cards specifically by clicking on the members and then clicking on their icon here. So you can definitely add yourself to a card, and I would do that as a rule of thumb, especially if you're sharing information, because then you'll get notifications of changes to those cards as well. As you can see, all the activity done on this board is being tracked in real time in the kind of right-hand menu column, and then also within the card itself, any sort of activity is being tagged and logged kind of on the bottom here below the comments. So super nice for team collaboration. What else? So back into the card, some other functionality that we have available to us is the labels, which are huge. So I've named some in here already, but you can customize these any way you'd like. So new to do, or we can call this new shopping list. We can put in progress and then completed. And since this is for today, I'm going to move this over to grocery lists in action. And I'm also going to relabel it in progress and take off the new shopping list label. So here you can see the in progress is active. We've moved that from one card to another. If there were other cards in this list, we'd be able to reorganize those as we see fit. And then one thing that I also want to mention is these icons here. So If you have this comment icon, that means there's a comment within the card, which for us, it's don't forget the eggs. You have a description, which is here, and that there's members who have viewed it, which is here. So you can see that I am added to this card. If you had anyone else, you'd be able to see that there as well. Checklists are huge, huge, huge. For a while, I was using this program and I didn't realize that you could have multiple checklists within each card, within the same card. So that was pretty life-changing. So if you wanted to use this for like an ongoing meeting that you have at work, you can create an agenda card that has everything lined out. And then if you have other tasks that stem off of that, you can create your own checklist within that card for those items as well. So like say it's a monthly meeting, you have them all scheduled out and you have schedule this meeting as your first checklist or meeting to-dos, and then you have your agenda below that. So it's all within one place. You can add those team members to each card. And so it's really kind of robust in that manner as well. So for the sake of this example, let's do a checklist of produce. And let's do a checklist of meat and a checklist of like, let's say pantry. And then it's as simple as going down the line and identifying what item in each list that you want to include. So let's do oranges, apples, bananas. And for me, I'll need chicken and ground turkey. And for pantry items, I need almond butter and some spices. P.S. All of those items are Whole30 approved. So one thing I want to point out here is that once you've created a checklist from the list level, you'll be able to see the progress on all of those checklists. So imagine this as a huge kind of work center where you have moving parts of the project going on simultaneously. By glancing through this, you'll be able to see what the progress is on each of those cards without clicking into it, which is great. So let's say I'm at the store and I purchase all of these items and I'm clicking them off. In real time, you'll be able to get the status report on each of those checklists. And then on a list level, you'll also be able to see how many have been completed for that individual card. So I've completed my shopping, I've purchased all of the items that I need, and now lo and behold, I've completed all of the checklists, so I get this green icon, which green means good, and all of the items have been purchased. But what did I forget? The eggs, but I didn't because it's in my checklist down here. So not to forget the eggs. And I saw that comment earlier. So all I'd have to do is create, I don't even know where eggs would be in the grocery store, refrigerated, and then eggs. And I didn't forget them. So let's click them off. If you need to tag someone within those list items as well, you have the capability of doing that using the @ symbol, and it'll be the same as if you were pinging them in a comment down here below. And as you can see, the activity of the board as we completed it gives us that real-time update of everything that's been checked off down there as well. So super cool functionality. So now that this is done, I'm going to move this over to completed. I'm going to label it as completed and remove the in progress label. And that's done. What else do we have here? You can set due dates. So this is due at 5 p.m. on today. And as the date approaches, if it is like the day before or the hours before, it will turn yellow. If you've passed the due date, it will turn red. So again, another one of those things that allows you to see the progress on multiple different cards and multiple different project points simultaneously at a glance without getting into that granular level, which is great. So this is completed. I check that off and I've met my due date, and that also turns green, which is great. You can include attachments. So say we wanted to label this card with a picture of the grocery store. So let's go pull up grocery shopping. And what images come up here? Let's see. This looks like a good image. Let's save this just to our desktop. Sure, why not? In terms of including attachments on cards, it's as simple as dragging and dropping. So with this, you'll be able to upload that image. If it is an image, it will want to make it a cover image right away, and you can do either keep that so you have this image attached to the card. So again, visually, as you're looking at things, if you have different projects happening simultaneously, maybe you want to identify those by a company logo or a picture associated with the project, you can do that quickly by identifying a cover photo. Or if you wanted to remove that cover and just have this as a attachment in here, you can do that as well. So attachments are one of those threshold items that vary between the free account and the paid version. The free account, I believe you have up to like 500 megabytes for an upload attachment, or under two megabytes. I know for the like business version, you can cross that threshold. The workaround is like the Pro, which is kind of that middle ground. You can get free months of Pro, which allows you as the operator of those boards to either include a power up, which we'll get into in just a second, or surpass that like download threshold. So one thing, as I've been using it internally with project management, is if we're sharing like a presentation or something like that, a lot of the times it's easier to just include the links from the shared drive or from a Google Drive or Dropbox or you name it into the comments than it is to kind of attach that to the card itself. The power-ups, which you can access from the free account, or you can do 3 power-ups if you have a premium or a pro account, and I think unlimited if you have the business account, are cool integrations that exist from other programs back to Trello. So the ones that I use most commonly are like Google Drive, or there's a Dropbox one. There's the calendar app that allows you to see or export all of the dates that you have in your Trello board to calendar. And then I have one board in particular that I also bill out to a client for different projects that I'm completing. And we use this Costello integration, which if we enable this, we're going to be able to see this, or no, it's not Costello, sorry. I misspoke. I think custom fields is what we use. So enabling this custom fields one allows us to do a custom field that we can create as a number. And I can create this as a dollar amount. So that also gives us that ability to do different integrations, which is great. I think Costello does that as well. Yeah, so with your basic version, you can have one power up available. With your with your pro version, you can have multiple, and with your business version, I think you can have unlimited. I think the dog's going to bark again. So on a very high level, that's some of the functionality that lives within Trello. And there's so much more that you can do with it in terms of organizing your lists and organizing the way that those lists are integrated with one another. I know that some of the power-ups have the ability to take a form from a like Google form and translate it into a new card so you can manage like incoming responses or things like that. I know there's things that you can do to export a card from a Trello card to like an Excel document or a Word document. So there's a lot of built-in integrations and functionality. And the sky's the limit in terms of how you organize your lists and how you organize the order of those lists and what the functionality within the list is. You can make things public and share it with a team, or you can keep them private if you want to manage your own task lists in here. So there's really a lot that you can do within Trello. So hopefully this overview gave you a pretty good insight of some of those things. If you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them in whatever comment sections. Share this video if you um, know of someone that could use Trello as a tool. And really, if there's anything that I can do to help you out there on a business level or a personal level, feel free to reach out to eGuide. I am happy to help. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. There's going to be some more of these longer format videos coming out talking about different tools, and hopefully you find some benefit out of them. So until next time, thank you.